So, good morning, everyone. Parashat Matot and Masei. So we know the first part of the parasha talks about a very important concept of neder. We have a mitzvah to keep our nedarim, our words true. If a person makes a promise, especially it talks about in this parasha talks about promise of a mitzvah, not just any promise. They say, let's hang out in Coffee Bean. If you don't show up, you do not break this mitzvah. A person should be true to his words. If he says, I'm going to do something, he should do it. But here is the person promises a mitzvah, who accepts upon himself to do a mitzvah or not to do something, then there's a mitzvah of neder or oath, shavua. A person should keep it. So Chachamim say, you see from here, this is the only time that a person can actually make a new halachic status. Right? For example, a meat, kosher meat from a kosher place is obviously permitted to eat. If a person says, asur to me to eat it, that piece of meat is equal to a piece of pork. We cannot eat it anymore. Okay. So that's why there was a very wrong minhag. Some people used to say, "Oh, asur, I'm not going to eat asur." You say asur, you cannot eat it anymore. That's it. If you eat it, you get lashes. So that's not such a good wording. I don't like to eat it. Fine, I don't want to eat it right now. Give me some time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe another hour. But the person should not put asur. If you make it asur, you make a new mitzvah. It's like a pork. That's the only time the person can add to whatever Torah said. Torah has a set of mitzvot. This you could do, or this you cannot do, right? Meat, he said, kosher meat you're allowed to eat. But if you say asur to me, I won't eat it, then just like Bedim will give lashes for someone who ate pork or a non-kosher meat, Bedim could have given lashes also for somebody who said asur to me to eat this kosher sandwich and ends up eating it. So Rav Moshe Feinstein has an interesting chapt understanding. He says that, once again, usually Torah says, "Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor." Hashem told Moshe to say like this, and Moshe reported to people what Hashem said. In Dixit Parsha is the only place that Torah never started like that. It just says, Moshe spoke to the heads of the tribes, and he said, "This is what Hashem told me." The order, is not as usual. Usually it says, so to Moshe said to people. So someone might have thought, well, Hashem didn't speak to Moshe first. Or Rav Moshe says, no. Obviously, he says, Zeh Moshe Siva Hashem. These are the words Hashem said, so must be Hashem did say it. But Rav Moshe says, it was so obvious that a person should keep his promise that there's no need for Hashem to say, I'm telling you to make your promise. If you utter a word out of your mouth, you got to do it. That's simple. So even though Hashem did say it to Moshe, but Moshe, Torah didn't have to start that Hashem told Moshe to do it, because Moshe obviously had to do it on his own. This is such a simple understanding that words matter. If you say something, say, you said it. But Moshe says, we have another similar case. Usually, if someone does something wrong, we need edim, we need witnesses to tell you. Someone is breaking Shabbat, two witnesses should say, don't break Shabbat. If you do, there's a consequence. If somebody, eating pork, two people have to tell him, don't eat pork. If you do, it's going to be the consequence. So we have a mitzvah of Edeh Hazama. If two people come and testify, they come edim, say, we saw this guy, kill somebody else, right? If they found to be false edim, false witnesses, we do what the consequence is. they get punished for whatever they wanted to do to somebody else, right? So this Gemara in Matot, Sanhedrin talks about different cases. What do we do with people who Edeh Azama? Edeh Azama means they were planning to harm somebody. Nowadays there are fabricated cases against political opponents. This guy did this, guy did that. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not true. But it could always have, Edeh Azama, it could have false witnesses. So now, Torah says you have to do the same thing back to them. Now, the Edom could say, oh, nobody warned us that we're going to get the consequence. And Torah does not require warning to the Edom. We need warning from Edom, from instance, to the person who has committed crime. But this crime, is excluded from warning. You don't need warning. We put them even to death without a warning. Why? So Moshe says, because Torah said that everybody should know you're saying a word, you have to be serious about it. You can't say, oh, I didn't know, I wasn't so careful about it. Word that come out of your mouth, you have to be very careful about it. That's like a simple understanding. Everybody knows it. If somebody says, I didn't know if I break Shabbat, this consequence is going to happen to me, okay, you're right. So we should have given you a warning. I didn't know I can eat this sandwich. I didn't know I can go this place. I didn't know this is Avodah Zarah. You can always say, I didn't know. So Bedin cannot punish you if you say, I don't know. But if you say something, you can say, I didn't know it's so bad. You say something, it meant. And you're supposed to know. So for words, Hashem doesn't give any discount. So you have to be very careful. So that shows the power of speech. Whether making an edit, whether giving testimony, right? Words matter. The person can say, it was just words, it was not so bad. It could be so bad if you don't use it right. So the Torah says if there are cases that if a young girl, bat mitzvah age, exactly bat mitzvah and 6 months, she's called a na'ara. If she makes a neder, her father is allowed to decline that neder. If a 12-year-old girl says, I make a neder to go to shul every day, and the father says, no, I don't want you to go. It's too much for you. We can't take you back and forth. Or you made a neder not to do this or to do this. The father has the power to override, but only for 6 months. That's it. After 12 and a half, she's an adult. She's supposed to do whatever she said. So
even when she's not engaged or married yet, the father can't do that.
Oh yeah, after 12 and a half, but Torah says bin ureha when she's a na'ara. Na'ara, Torah defines only 12 to 12 and a half.
So that's the only case of a lady has keeping the neder
only
for sure.
If a 13-year-old girl says, I commit to say Tehillim every day, she says she made a neder. The father cannot override it.
Nobody can.
Unless they go to Chacham, to Beddin, and they nullify the neder. But now, Torah says, if the father says the same day that he is, she is 12 and 2 months, she made a neder that she can't keep, or she could keep, but the father doesn't want her to do it. Father has authority. He says, I don't want your neder to count, and then the neder doesn't count. So now Torah says here, Hashem islach la. Hashem should forgive for her. Ki hani abiya ota, because the father already nullified the neder. He battled the neder. So Gemara asks, 1 second, if the father said your neder doesn't count, so what's there for Hashem to islach la, forgive? There's no neder. She's doing something wrong. Let's say she said asur, I shouldn't eat meat for anymore. But she wants to go vegetarian. And the father said, no, it's not healthy for you. I want you. I battle your neder. I mefer your neder. So what's there to be? If she eats that meat, Hashem has to forgive her. So Gemara says, must be the case is that he did cancel the neder, but she didn't know. She didn't know. He made a neder. She made a neder in the morning. A few hours later, the father said, I heard it. I'm canceling it. Afternoon, she's hungry. She goes eat it. I know it's wrong, but I do it anyway because I'm hungry, right? So on that, in actuality, she's not doing anything wrong, but in her mind, she's doing something wrong, right? So Hashem has to forgive it. What do you see from here? Rashi brings down the Gemara that if somebody who wanted to do something wrong, but didn't end up doing something wrong because the neder was cancelled, she still needs kapara, she still needs forgiveness, atonement from God. So if someone else wants to do something wrong and ends up doing something wrong, how much more so? Kal v'chomer, you have to ask for forgiveness, right? If I wanted to eat, a ham sandwich, and I thought it was a ham sandwich, but I actually ate a kosher burger, right? At night I said, "Baganu chatati aviti pashati." Hashem, forgive me. In my mind, the mother says, "Oh, I bought a kosher for you." I tell you, somebody, an American guy who's religious now, told me when he was a kid, he didn't know ham is asur. He went to his friend's house, non-Jewish, and the mother was, making lunch. You're gonna have a burger. So you can't have this burger. It's ham. You're not allowed to have ham. Why not? So you're a Jew. What am I talking about? Okay, we eat. Had no idea that that ham is asur. Baruch Hashem now he's religious. His daughter, his son-in-law learns in Kollel. But the non-Jewish neighbor, the Christian, knew that Jew cannot have ham. But anyways, so if somebody wanted to eat non-kosher, but ended up eating, Gemara says the case of chelev and shuman. We have two different types of fat. One is a non-kosher fat, so I call it chelev. They look at the same almost, they feel the same. In Iran, the mothers know how to take out the non-kosher fat from the meat. Dechia. Yeah, when you buy everything kosher, it's salted, all you have to do is just cook it. But
I remember
I used to ask my mom, what's the difference? Say, touch it. I couldn't get it, which, they feel it, and also which part, my chest, this. They know where to, when to take out, what to take out, when not to take out. So if somebody wants to eat the non-kosher fat, but by mistake, he eats the kosher fat, right? He says, oh, yum. And he has to do teshuvah. I did something wrong. There's something wrong. If I wanted to eat ham or a non-kosher fat, I did do it, then how much more so I have to do teshuvah? Because I have intention to do something wrong. My action was wrong, so a person should do teshuvah. So now I just heard a beautiful story from Rabbi David Yosef in the name of Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim obviously was the biggest Rav of our generation. He died about 100 years ago. I think right after the First World War he died, I think, around that time. So he was from Russia, Ukraine nowadays, that place. So at the time, there was a lot of fights between Russia. No, Ashkenaz. It was a Kohen, Rabbi Israel Meir, a Kohen Miradin. I don't know what Radin is. Either Ukraine nowadays, or maybe some part of Russia, or one of the neighboring countries. But Russia got divided many small pieces. So Russia had a very tight, control over his people at the time, because it was fighting a lot of enemies. So if you found, the KBG found you to be a spy, they would kill you right away. So there was a yeshiva boy traveling in a train station, and the story goes that he was sitting in the train station, or by the seat to get the train, and then another guy was running. As he was running, a file dropped from his hand, from his suitcase, and it fell right next to the yeshiva boy. This young man, 17, 18 years old, and the KBG agents were running around. They found the file next to the boy. So, oh, this shows they are a spy. This is some very secret intelligence that you are sharing with our enemy. So what are you talking about? It was here. No, they took him to the prison, and back in the time, they, if you had such a crime, it would take maybe a day for the judgment to arrive. Three generals would come, put you on trial. That's it. Treason. No, you're going against the country. We can kill you. Still, somebody were there who sees the incident that the Yeshua boy is captured by the police, and he goes tells the family. He said, "I saw Yeshua, your son. This is what happened. It was a mistake. It was not his fault. Somebody dropped the case, the file. They think he's the spy. So they hire a very good lawyer. I said the name Rosenberg. I don't know. So the very good Jewish lawyer. He said the first thing I have to do is I have to push off the trial, because they do the trial. It takes them 3 minutes to put them in, to death. They don't. They postpone the trial for 1 month. They give it 1 month. Meantime, he calls Chafetz Chaim. Says, Chafetz Chaim, I need your help. So you have to come to the trial and tell that the yeshiva boy, which he did. He was in the yeshiva, and tell that this boy is not a spy. I know he's just learning Torah all day, but what would he do a spy for? Chafetz Chaim obviously accepts. He comes to the court date, and the three generals sitting as the judge, and they read. They say, you are against our country, our national security is compromised. You're sharing this intelligence with enemy. So the lawyer says, first of all, you have a witness that that file was dropped next to him. Somebody dropped it. He didn't carry it. Number two, I got here the biggest rabbi of our generation, Chafetz Chaim, old man. He will testify that this guy is such a good guy. He's not a spy. Chafetz Chaim is a very, serious look. I don't know if he spoke the same language or not. He said that, I testified that this boy is a great guy. He never would ever. He's a young guy. Would be a spy for? He's not a spy. She let him go. The three generals said, we don't accept this. Nah. Just because Chafetz Chaim is very upset, very angry. He's very so worried that they would kill this boy. He walks out of the court. So the lawyer goes to the three generals, says, do you know who this guy is? They said, we don't care. They don't care. This guy is the biggest rabbi of our generation. Every rabbi in our generation respects him. Whatever he says, everybody follows. His books are worldwide. Everybody follows his books. Let me tell you a story. It says one time, Chafetz Chaim was traveling or walking somewhere, and a thief came, right, and stole Chafetz Chaim's briefcase or luggage, and he took off. He ran. This old man ran after him. Chafetz Chaim ran after this thief. He says, Reuven, I don't want you to do a sin. I forgive you. Let me give it to you as a gift. It's a gift to you. He said, you're running, just say it. He said, no. Chafetz Chaim said, not only I'm forgiving, I want it to be a gift. I don't want him to think himself that he's a thief. Because according to this Gemara, if he's not being a thief, I think he's a thief, still is wrong. Right? It's like somebody who's breaking the nether, but doesn't know the nether doesn't exist. So instead of standing and announcing is a gift, then I would cancel the theft. But I don't want the ganav, the thief, to think he's a thief. I want him to come, full teshuvah. You're not a thief. I'm doing a gift. So this lawyer says, I saw this happen to Chafetz Chaim. Right? He's such a pious person, such a tzaddik. When he says something, you should believe him. So the generals start laughing. They say, you actually believe these things? Chafetz Chaim did this? You say some of the stories, it's unbelievable. An old man running to tell the guy, you're not a thief, it's a gift, I don't want you to break the law. So the lawyer says a line, and he says, whether you believe it or not, that's what they say about Chafetz Chaim. Would they say this story about you guys? Would they say, these three generals are so pious that people, they would run after the thief to say, don't do it. if they say what Chafetz Chaim must be, it's true. He's such a, whether you believe the story or not, he's such a pious person that people make up that story about him. When the lawyers, when the generals, the judges hear that story, it's okay. We let go the boy. If he's such a pious person that people make up that story, whether true or not, must be a special person. So if he says the boy is not a spy, we let go of the boy. So Rabbi David Yosef said, so you see that that only to keep this mitzvah, he didn't want the Chafetz Chaim saved someone's life by what? Running at the thief to say, I don't want you to be a thief. I don't want you to think you are a thief. Even I'll give you a gift, but hear me. You're not a thief. You're not a ganav. You didn't steal. So even like maybe to someone's mind, it's not such a big deal. I didn't do the avera. I didn't do the sin. Who cares what I thought? But to clear that part out, that's what Chafetz Chaim wanted to do, and save someone's life. So later on in the Torah, Torah talks about another mitzvah when Jews went to fight Midianites, right? The Midiani girls, they were the ones who made Jewish boys sin, and Hashem wanted to take revenge. And Hashem said to Moshe, you have to send soldiers to kill all the Midianim. So Torah says that they had to really recruit the army. It was not easy to get soldiers. Soldiers didn't want to go to war. Why? Not that they were scared, because they knew if they go to war, this is the last war of Moshe Rabbeinu. They didn't want Moshe Rabbeinu to die. They're going to prolong his life. He's going to stay for another year, 2 years, 3 years. Moshe will be alive because this is, so I said, after this war, you'll die, Hashem said to Moshe. So says Rashi, it's a Gemara. Gemara says, you see how beloved are the leaders of Jews to Jewish people. Before they hear about his death, they wanted to kill him. Right? Moshe says, Hashem, they want to kill me. Now that something bad is happening to Moshe, they're all rallying behind him. They say, we don't want to go. They have to force them to go to army. No, you have to go. Moshe said, you have to go to army. So it shows how Jews were beloved and how much Jews loved Moshe Rabbeinu. It didn't show all the time, but at the bottom of their heart, they loved their leaders. So they went to go to war. They come back. Moshe is angry because they didn't kill the girls. Moshe said, why did you leave the girls out? They're the ones who caused all the problem. They're the ones who brought the Magifah, the plague. So this time, Moshe commanded to kill all the even infant boys, but the girls, if they had relations with men, they had to make like a miraculous testing with the tzis, with the Kohen Gadol's silver plate, the gold plate on his forehead. They kept them alive. Then Moshe said you have to kill them. 3 years old and up they killed. So under 3 they kept alive. They're already there. But Moshe, in the beginning, Moshe wanted them all to be dead. He wanted anyone, the Midian should be all gone. So then Torah says, what's the halacha? All the vessels that they brought. They brought a lot of utensils, spoons, plates, pots, pans, gold, silver, nechoshet, copper. So Torah says, so the Misav Hagala we learn from here. This is Parsha, chapter 31 and pasuk 23. Hagala means if you have a vessel that was used by not only a non-Jew, even a Jew, a non-kosher food, you cannot use it until you kosher it. Right? How do you kosher it? Torah says, if it was used by by fire, you have to put fire. Now, it depends what type of fire. Was it on fire? Was it, boiling in fire? So that's why, for sticks, the kebab sticks we use, put it on fire. You want to kosher it. Pots and pans, you could put it in another pot and pan with boiling water and kosher it. And if, let's say, there are plates that they never went into fire directly, they pour hot food on it, so you pour hot water on it. And also it says, somebody has to do with fire, you have to put it in water. So the one learns from here, that's tevilat kelim. You have to dip the vessel. When you buy a vessel from a non-Jew, whether it was used or not used, even brand new, you have to dip in mikveh, right? You have a mikveh kelim. With special mikveh, you go to some shoes, when they have mikveh for men and mikveh for women, and then they have a small mikveh separate that they don't know it goes in the kosher mikveh. Obviously, you could go in it, but men go down because they want to put their pots and pans in there. So a person should. So we learn two mitzvahs from here: hagalat kelim and tevilat kelim. Hagalah means kashering, right? Tevilah means dipping in the water. So Rav Moshe says when Torah wants to introduce this mitzvah, it says, first of all, Elazar announced it, not Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the law of the Torah that Hashem commanded Moshe. Why not Moshe himself? Moshe was angry, so he couldn't talk. He couldn't say the halacha correctly. The person is angry always makes mistakes. Elazar was about to announce it. It's unbelievable. Moshe Rabbeinu got angry, he messed up with halacha. So anger is a very, very bad thing. So Rav Moshe says, why it says Zot Chukat Torah? This is the law, Chuk, right? The Chuk of the Torah. We have this in Paraduma too, the red cow. It says Chukat Torah, law of the Torah. So looks like this parasha applies to the whole Torah. Talks about alad kelim, kashering a vessel, a utensil, but that applies to the whole Torah. Kashering the whole Torah. What does that mean? You learn from here that if somebody got dirty with chata'im, with sins, upesha'im, or mistakes, anybody in Torah, any mitzvah he didn't do, or any averah he did, he can't do hagalah of his Torah. He can kasher himself and become clean without a chet, without any sins, when he does teshuvah, right? So this is Chol Torah. A person should not be despair and say, too late. I've done so much wrong. I'm full of non-kosher food. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. Hashem said, HaTorah, the whole Torah, just like, let's say you have a pot that you cooked pork in it. You saw the goy, cooking pork. You could kosher it. The same you could kosher it. There are techniques how to kosher it, but you could do it. So if somebody feels like, he's filled up with non-kosher things, this is the law for the whole Torah. Don't worry, you could kosher yourself.
Oh.
So the law is right? The way you go in, the way you go out. If the chata'im, if the sins, there was so much desire, very big desire, like fire, teshuvah also has to be greater level of teshuvah. You have to have a lot of desire, a lot of love, a lot of compassion for the teshuvah, for doing this. A person should very, very huge teshuvah. But if his mistake was a small one, not so much love, and he just did it, but not because he was so excited about it. He had to do it, he was upset to do it, but he did it anyways. So the teshuvah also could be small. It doesn't have to be very big teshuvah. It doesn't have to be Yom Kippur teshuvah. Somebody told me that a very big sin. He ate chametz on Pesach, but just because the host gave it to her, she ate. She and her family ate because the
You
host.
know?
So the host, I bought it from Gladmart. But when did you buy that from Gladmart? A week before Pesach. Which obviously still chametz there. And she served it. Good, thank you. She served it on the first night of Pesach. She told me I made a cake. I bought a cake myself just to make sure the cake is good over there. But the other cake looked better. And she said, I bought it from Gladmart. I was like, okay, after she ate the cake, she's like, it's such a good tasting. It was a poppy seed cake, something. So she asked, what was the name? The poppy seed from Gladmart. She goes to Gladmart. We don't have such a cake for Pesach. We have the regular. Huh? I'm sorry. The cake was from a certain catering bakery. Let's say, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever. Or they sell both. They
Before-
sell before Pesach and
before
after Pesach. So she asked me that, she told me the bakery told me you don't have that. Now, oh, my boy, what do you eat? So I called the Grand Mart, and I actually went to the Grand Mart, and I met the owner of that bakery in the Grand Mart who was delivering after Pesach, I think it was. And I said, it was such a, you never make such a cake for Pesach. No, that's a regular chametz. Chametz kamur. She ate chametz. She ate chametz. She was very upset. She was very, very upset. And I feel so bad. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't know. I trusted the host. What should I do? That's my Rav. What should I do? She said, Anna. She said, Anna. We do it. When he said, Kavana, that I did, because she was not as excited to it. And she was excited, but she didn't know she was doing something wrong. It was a mistake. It was a chet. It was not a avon. Right? It was not for sure, it was not a pesha even. So my Rav suggested also maybe she should do half a day fasting, half a day, because on Pesach is something serious. So half a day. I think that's what she did. She said Anna, and so Ramoshi is saying it depends how excited you were to do the avon. More excitement, more fire, harder teshuvah. And this is the source for teshuvah mishkal, a balanced teshuvah. Teshuvah is a scale. The more you love to do it, the more you have to. The more teshuvah you have to do. The less you love to do it, the less teshuvah you need to do. Okay. One last idea. In the end of Torah, end of Parsha, we have Chazak, by the way. We have we finished the Bamidbar this Shabbat.
End of which one?
End of Masei, Parsha Bamidbar is over. The Sefer Bamidbar is finished. So we have few mitzvot intermarrying between the tribes. Torah says we're not supposed to marry each other because if the girl was the only girl in the family and she would inherit land from the father, and if she would marry another tribe, the land would transfer to other tribe. So for the first few generations, they didn't happen intermarrying between the tribes. But before that, we have a mitzvah of Aremiklat, cities of refuge. If somebody killed somebody else by mistake, we're supposed to run there. And they would put him in court. Was it mistake? Was it intentional? So Torah commands that if somebody did kill somebody else intentionally, there's no kofar. You cannot pay for it. The only way to take care of it is to kill him, right? A murderer's punishment is only death. There's no other way out of it. So if he didn't do it by intention, with a mistake, obviously he has to go there not to be killed, right? But if he's not mistaken, it was a real serious crime that he wanted to do. Torah commands many times, don't let go. Do not make the land Chanifa means chop. Also here means don't make a wicked land. Because the blood will make the land wicked, and the land will not be atoned for the for the blood that has been spilled unless you spill the blood of the killer. So a killer has to be killed. That's the bottom line. That's what Torah wants. So do not make my land tameh. So don't let a murderer walk free. So a murderer is a very serious business, obviously. So Rav Moshe has a very interesting understanding on this. He says that what's the difference between the Torah's point of view of killing someone and the nation's point of view of killing someone? So it says ki hadam hu yachniv ta'aretz, because the blood makes the land wicked. But Hanifa means flattering, really. Make chopless, make someone feel good. That's a normal way of using Hanifa in Torah. So he says every kingdom wants to be no murdering. Murdering is a capital offense. Why? Because otherwise the country will fall apart if we walk around killing each other. You're going to ruin the country. It's for society, national security. You don't let them really kill everybody, which is a good thing. But the one exception, he says, when the country believes that this guy is ruining the land, is not good according to our understanding, it's okay to kill him. We don't kill people who are good for us. So that's why we have wars in the world. Why this country kills other country? They are human beings. What is wrong? Because they don't benefit us. They're against our values. They don't like us. We don't like them. And when they do kill it, they say, we fix the world. We are fixing the world by killing other people. And also, if somebody has only a few hours to live, you say, who cares? He's not going to live much longer anyways. That's not killing. So that's why doctors do not give their best when an old man comes to ICU. Hey, he's an old man. How much longer he's going to live anyways? A young guy comes to give more attention. He has a much longer life to live. But Torah does not view life like that. Torah doesn't say, don't kill because he has a long life or he's in your group, within your values. Torah says killing is asur because chashivut adam, a person has importance, right? Even though nobody needs him, he doesn't do anything good for the country. I don't think he's not killing anybody, right? And he's not helping us. But asur lehorgo, you cannot kill him. Even a shoteh, someone, his mind doesn't work. It's crazy. Meshugay taraf, right? Even somebody could live another 5 seconds. You kill him, you get killed for it. You can't kill him, right? And even for an old man to live another 5 seconds, you're allowed to break Shabbat. He's going to die in the afternoon, but in the morning he's still alive. Call ambulance, break Shabbat to save him. So that's why he says, Rav Moshe, when a person kills another person, because according to my understanding, he is ruining the world. You're flattering the land. You're just making everything, look good, feel good. Because according to me, this guy is nobody. Is nullified to the whole world. So in order to make the land stand out and look better, this guy shouldn't exist. But that's not the truth of the Torah. Torah says that the land is tafel to the person. A person is not tafel to the land, which means we have ikar and tafel. We have main and secondary. Right? We have, for example, good food, steak. The steak is, the main, the ikar. Tafel is, some green beans or some mashed potato. Those are the side dish. What's the ikar? The steak. What's the tafel? Things around it. In the world that Hashem created, Adam, human beings are the ikar, are the stake. The land, the country, whatever you see around you, they're tafel, they're secondary. You don't kill the man in order to flatter the land, right? You let go of the land to pay attention to the man. So that's why Torah says, Ki hadam hu yachnif et haaretz. The blood flatters the world, right? Don't kill people to flatter people. That Hashem doesn't like it. Okay, there's some points from the parasha. Shabbat shalom and Chodesh Tov.